This week, we go through the history of the Oliva Serie V Maduro Especial. Stay tuned as we take a walk down memory lane on this edition of Stogie Geeks Shorts. This is a Security Weekly production. The Venice Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo. Welcome, everyone, to this edition of Stogie Geeks Shorts. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island. On the lines via Skype, the cigar coop himself, Mr. Will Cooper. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Paul.
What's going on, dude? I'm excited to talk about Oliva Serie V.
You know, it's December, and this time of the year is when we see the Oliva Serie V Maduros, and once again, they've hit the shelves this year, and I thought this would be a good segment to kind of go through a little bit of the history of the series.
Now, we did an epic episode on this, very early on in the Stogie Geeks history.
Yeah, in fact, we have to put the link with that. I remember you guys went through the first four releases of it. And I remember watching that episode, and that is very early in the archives. I mean, I think we're going back to 2012 or 13 with that.
Yeah, and I don't remember what the outcome was. There was four of us. It was myself, Tim, Stogie Sen, and Mark Jr., and we each smoked a different year and gave our take on it. And we had smoked the other years as well. I don't think there was a unanimous favorite. I know 8 and 9 were pretty strong in the running. Well,
8 and 9 are strong in the running because that was actually the blends that were on 8 and 9 have kind of been retired. So in 2008, they actually were going with a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler in a 6.5 by 52 torpedo. 2009, they came back with the 6.5. Torpedo, but they went with a Nicaraguan Habano Maduro wrapper.
Yes.
And I think if you ask people historically, they tend to pick one of those two as, I would say, the one of. I love that 2008 one was really good.
Yeah, I don't know fond memories of both. They did smoke differently because they're very distinctly different wrappers.
Yeah, exactly. What's interesting about the Oliva Serie V, it is a one-time release each year. So it comes out usually around the Thanksgiving, December timeframe. Usually it's, they do one release to the retailers. I want to say it's about 1,500 boxes or so. And when they're gone, they're gone. And they tend to change the size every year. The blend, as we'll see, has kind of stabilized every year. The difference is the blend, even though it's the same components for the last several years, it's different vintages. So it was really in 2010 when the blend that's kind of been the standard since then, it's when it went with the San Andreas Maduro wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and fill, and that was on another torpedo, a 6.5 by actually 54 size. So that was the first year they went with San Andreas Maduro on that.
It was 2010, correct?
Yep, on 2010.
I have the episode up. It was episode 17. Excuse me, episode 17.
Wow, so that's definitely in that 2011, 2012 time frame. Actually, we're looking at.
Looks like May 1st, 2012 is when the blog post went up for the show. We likely recorded just before that. So.
Yeah, definitely encourage folks to check that one out because you actually went through the first four releases of that. With the 2011 release, also a San Andreas Maduro, but it was the first year they released the Toro.
Yes. Yeah, but before that, all three releases were torpedoes.
They were torpedoes, yep. And then for 2011 and 2012, they went to Toros, 6x50 Toros.
And then, so what is the one that's a 60 ring that I'm smoking now? Is that the 2015?
Actually, so we'll kind of, yeah. So actually, for the last 3 years, it's been a 60.
Which is
So
probably why we haven't talked about it as much. 'Cause
right.
this is nothing like some of those original releases.
Right. Now, yeah, we skipped 2013, but I want to get back to 13 in a minute, right? But I think it's a good point to go to 14. So 14, 15, and 16 have gone to the 6x60 double Toro size at San Andreas Maduro. And it's the first, like, they've kept it identical for 3 years in a row. We might not have gone to it as Stogie Geeks, but obviously they may have sold these quicker, or to bring that back 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they had some leftover production. I don't know, but that's the first time they brought back the same blend and same size 3 years in a row.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think the one that's hidden that everyone forgets about is the 13. And I don't know. It's only been released once, and it's the San Andreas Mexican wrapper over Nicaraguan butter and filled. They call it a double Robusto, that 5x54. To me, that was a very underrated release. It really flew under the radar, and I don't think
it was a good cigar. I remember smoking that. And
yeah,
that is a good cigar.
Yeah, and I was hoping that size was going to stick around for a couple years, and now I'm like, if I could find that cigar. Man, I'd buy a box or go Chuck Norris with those cigars.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a great release.
And so what, in 2014 is when they started with the 60 ring?
They started with the 60 ring, and they've gone 3 years in a row with it.
Yeah, and I mean, that must have gotten some mass appeal. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I'm a little of the ways through this cigar right now, and it's just okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 14 and the 15 were okay. I mean, it's going up against some very epic releases. Again, when we go back to those first 2 years and then the 13, it's up against some competition. But again, there had to be a market why they released that one.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the future is going to hold for this series. With FDA, it's going to be interesting to see. They may end up. I have this. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen. They could keep releasing some of these older sizes, provided they get FDA approval, because they're not grandfathered. They could end up releasing all these different sizes and blends. It's going to be interesting. I can't see this going away. I think it's too popular a line for it to go away. And if they can keep it around, they will. But it's speculatory on my part.
Yeah, I think if it's selling well for them, they're gonna keep it around.
Yeah, I mean, so that's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't know. Again, those first two releases, I don't know if they can get the tobaccos anymore for that. But it'd be wonderful if they could bring back that broadleaf or Habano.
Yeah, it would also be interesting too. Kind of like in the Tatuaje Monster series, if they released like a series in a different size and one from every. Well, we've seen that a couple times, right? We've seen Avo release all of the original ones in the gift set in their original sizes. We've seen Tatuaje release them in different sizes, but include all of the cigars from the series, including some extra ones, which is an interesting bit of marketing that was done by the folks at Tatuaje over at the Garcia factory. So I think that's really good. For the consumer to have those released. We've never seen anything like that from Oliva. I mean, they have done gift sets and various things, but we haven't seen them take all their special releases and repackage them, or even include the original sizes in a gift set, which would be an interesting thing to do with FDA especially. Yeah,
I mean, that would have been great if we saw that, because that would have been a lot of fun to kind of. I remember going through the Avos and the Monster series, and they were very fun to go through those again. I enjoyed that immensely going through that, and with something like these blends, I would love to revisit some of them and see what they were like.
I liked the Nicaraguan wrapper on the 2009. Now that I look back through my notes, my comment was I love the spice.
If I had to do an unofficial poll, I think the 2009 was the most popular. I mean, it's just, if I had to do an unofficial poll, that's one it always comes up like on people's radar, so to speak.
And is that the only one with a Nicaraguan wrapper?
Yep, because the year after that they went to Mexican.
Yep.
And they've stuck with Mexican, and the year before that was the first year of Connecticut broadleaf.
Right.
Yeah, but they've stuck with Mexican since then.
Yeah, I would say if you got 2009s kicking around, I may have some of them. I'll have to go look, Will.
I know you sent me one because you had a little. You actually took the time to label them.
Oh no, that wasn't me. That was Mark Jr. or someone.
Oh,
that was
okay.
Someone else. I'm not. I wish I was that anal, but I'm not.
And it was good. It's good because when you look at those first three torpedoes, they can confuse you, and it's good to kind of. And that's something I would have loved to have seen on this is have a secondary band with the year on it.
I remember asking Paul Joyle, like, which Oliva V is this? I don't quite know. And you have to go by wrapper color or size or shape. But as the years progressed, that got more difficult, especially in recent years. And I really wish, I don't understand why the manufacturer wouldn't put the date on the band of when it was like these special releases. Why is that? Why wouldn't you just do that?
I mean, it's obvious. To me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, obviously, there's a cost to do it, but I think that's a cost that would have some good benefits to your customers. I wouldn't mind if that cost was passed off to me because you know what I mean. So
Right.
if it was a little extra to get that, a few cents more for a cigar, I'd love to have that because then I can tell which one's a which. Or even do what Bill Zengi does, just stamp the thing on the back.
On the back. I mean, I think there's a big cost doing what Phil does. Well, I mean, I don't know how large of a cost, but a larger cost to do what Phil does because that's the actual box dating.
True.
Sorry, that's my phone. I have this like watch and like phone now and everything, and like it's interesting.
Now, I thought that was another type of call just from the music, but I'm not going to go there.
That was my wife calling. Actually, that's the ringtone that plays when my wife calls.
That's what I was wondering.
My secret's out of the bag. Yes.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I think it can benefit the manufacturer, Will, because when you purchase one from each year, let's say, and so let's say in 2010 or 2011, right? I go back and I know that I'm smoking a 2008 or a 2009. I'm like, wow, this got really good. Now I know what to go back and buy, and by putting it on the band, I'll always know what to go back and buy. Sometimes if I don't know what it is and I smoke it, I'm like, I think this is a 2010 or maybe it's a 2011. I mean, some of the ones are easier to distinguish than others. I may not go back and buy it because I don't know which one it is, so I'm not going to put the effort into it. So I definitely encourage manufacturers to put that year somewhere on the band, whether it's a secondary band or on the band that comes with it, so that we as cigar smokers can go buy more of them. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen, then and again, if there's...
Oh, we lost Will. Will, you there? He's frozen. I'm not sure if there's anything else that Will wanted to talk about the Oliva V Maduro Especial series, which has been, for me, a great pleasure to smoke, especially in the beginning. But towards the end, this 60 ring that I'm smoking now, I mean, it's just okay. I mean, it's a cigar. It's burning good, drawing good, and it tastes okay. It's nothing overwhelming. There was, the 2009 had this like twang and pop to it and a lot of spice and a lot of things going on. This one that I'm smoking now, which I believe is a 2014, does not have anything I can't say anything extraordinary about it, which is what I want to be able to say about a special series from Oliva. So it looks like Will lost his internet, so I'll go ahead and close it out. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching Stogie Geek Shorts. We'll see everyone next time.